So we start off with this nigga already talking shit about Maki, saying how she doesn't know how to support a man, and already I'm not jacking this nigga, cause how you not gon' like a woman who knows how to throw some immaculate fists, gang? This guy is special grade 1 sorcerer Naoya Zenin, and to sum up his character in one word, he's just the verse's biggest misogynist. He came into this clan meeting hella late, talking about some he's the next clan head since all of his older brothers are pretty much useless, and even calls out his uncle, Maki and Mai's pops. And as for Junichi over here, he's just got the face card that always declines, to say the least. Big bro ain't like that, but OG had the blade to Naoya's neck the next second, and Naoya's holding his wrist, and Junichi punched a hole through the wall, or I guess the door in this case. You know how the Japanese get with them sliding doors. We see Lil Unk over here pronounce the death of Naobito, and that he'll be keeping the will in his custody, already knowing how these animals get. He then reads out Nobito's will since the three of them are present in the room. But hold up, why do they look so tough posted up like this? I think it's the light swinging around, but damn, I ain't know the budget was moving like this, mappa. Did them animators even see they family this Christmas? Anyways, he states that Naobito appoints his son Naoya as the 27th head of the Zenin clan, giving him ownership of all the cursed tools stored in Jujutsu High, as well as the family warehouse, upon the approval of either Junichi or Oji, which he can work with. But oh, we love the buts over here. If Gojo dies or loses his will or abilities for any sort of reason, the vow with Toji shall be honored, and Megumi will be appointed as the 27th head, with all the assets going to him. This nigga Naoya was like, huh? He was completely dumbfounded. Really had this nigga saying, say you swear to God, say you swear to God. And I'm not gonna lie, I understand this nigga's rage 100%. Yo Spot getting taken by another nigga who doesn't even fuck with the clan and doesn't even rep the clan name in their bio, and they get appointed as the leader. I'd be tight too. So he does what any nigga who's power hungry does and decides to go out to Tokyo and kill Yuji and Megumi. More so, just use Yuji as bait for Megumi. We cut to Yuji taking this hard-ass staircase flick, having the PTSD flashbacks to the shit that was going down in Shibuya. Choso came to his side asking about his injuries, to where Yuji replies with that he's basically fine, and mentions that it's probably due to Sukuna and that he can feel his power growing inside of him. Choso tells Yuji that he can just go back to Jujutsu High and not have to worry about him. But Yuji ain't even worried about that right now. Sukuna is scheming something involving Megumi, and he's taking the blame on the chin for all of Sukuna's massacres in Shibuya, and he just can't be with everyone anymore. Yuji asks Choso if he's good, being that he did kill his bros in season 1, to where Choso says that it's all good, being it was an accident, and they would have done the same if they were in his place right now, saying that's just how brothers are, as they walk out the building, with their task being to reduce the amount of curses in the area. We cut to where season 2 ended off, with Yuji clapping to get these curses attention, and this is where the action begins. Yuji runs off with the curses on his tail, and they're just fighting over who's gonna get bro first. Green Gremlin over here hit this down slam, but Yuji evaded, and this nigga's running up the bridge while it's being bent at a perfect 90-degree angle to the sky with no difficulty. I be forgetting that this nigga Yuji's low-key superhuman even before the Sukuna buff. But this is where shit gets crazy. Jumps into the air, and this flying squirrel ass curse came in, but Yuji hit this flip into a kick and completely splattered its guts. As he's dropping down, this next curse swooped in and caught him, flying through the city, but Yuji punched its shit and painted the whole alleyway. Yanked this nigga's tooth out and used it as an anchor to slow his fall. He's looking around, but the job's not finished. Big boy from up top came swinging in, but Yuji jumped over the railing and he was out that bitch. We then see a bunch of curses chasing after him like girls chasing Bieber in his prime, and as he enters this tunnel, he yells out for Choso as he hits that piercing blood, headshotting all the curses behind him. We see this multi-armed curse pull up on Choso, but Yuji immediately handled it, with its blood dripping on him too. This is truly aura farming on a bigger scale. This shit reminds me of Gabi Maru in Hell's Paradise. Choso mad impressed too. Did this nigga really just hit this clean ass flash step? What the hell is going on? Oh, nah, it might actually be over. Naoya asks where Megumi's at, had these niggas like, whose mans is this? Naoya's confused on why they ain't doing the dash, being that they're on death row, since Gojo was the only one vouching for Yuji in the first place after all. Naoya says that he's only after Megumi so he can become the clan head. But if he left Yuji running around, it would cause some shit in the future. So he flash steps down and backfisted the shit out of Yuji and weaved the kick. Choso came in running, but he was too slow. He's right behind me, isn't he? As he proceeds to beat the bricks out of Choso, steps on his toes to do it again with just one hand, fixing his fucking hair in the process. The new year just started, and this actually might be the most disrespectful shit I've seen already. Choso throws this jab, but Naoya parried it and kicked Choso in the back. Yuji threw this rock, but Naoya weaved it and made some distance. Yuji and Choso quickly figure out that this must be his curse technique at work, but Naoya just confused on who the fuck Choso is right now. But that's when they all feel some crazy ass spiritual pressure. At first Yuji thought it was Gojo, but it was much more unsettling than his, as he turns around to see Yuta, who is standing all zesty like I do not remember this stance being all that in the manga. Got him looking like Mighty Too Hottie. But this is the first time the MCs of the series have met face to face, and even bro was asking who Choso was too. Choso does not have motion for real. We see him completely destroy this side of the street just to get closer to them, which in my opinion is aura farming like crazy, argue with a wall. Naoya instantly caught the plea. He was not trying to scrap it, bro. He said that they're technically allies in this situation, and Yuji recognized the name, being Megumi mentioned him back in season 1. Choso tries telling Yuji to run and that he'll hold off Naoya, and Naoya is over here trying to make a deal with Yuta, and Yuta was good with it because he was trying to run it with Yuji. Yuji is on the run, but Yuta is on his tail, even with his sword drawn. Naoya anticipated their plan and messed up Choso's piercing blood. We see this curse come out from this building with his arm cut, as we cut to Yuta having Yuji pinned down to the ground. Now this is not good looks for you, Yuji, but he manages to escape, and as Yuta swung on him, he weaved that shit too. Yuta gets in close swinging, but Yuji is weaving like hell and jumps on his blade to get away. Yuta dashes, destroying the inside of the building, and asks Yuji if he's shocked, being that he knows he doesn't look like the power type because he's all scrawny and shit. Yuji realizes that Yuta is the complete opposite from him, and Yuta mentions that he actually has more cursed energy than Gojo, but since he got the 6 eyes, his energy loss is almost at 0, being the difference between the two. As Yuta takes his stance, he starts swinging again, with Yuji barely able to evade his hits, being every move Yuta makes could be a finishing blow. But despite that, Yuji ain't throwing the towel, hops over this car and Yuta sliced that shit open. Yuji jumps through this jeep, takes the survival knife and gets out before Yuta smacked it with the back half of the car he just sliced. Yuta jumps up, charging that CE in his blade, while Yuji is trying to infuse CE in the knife as they both clash. Yuta tells bro he's too focused on the blade, gut checking him, breaking the knife, and slicing his chest. He got that 3-piece combo on him in an instant. Yuji ain't hesitate though, and broke Yuta's blade. Yuji charged at him thinking that he has the upper hand since they're both weaponless, but that's when he gets grabbed by Rika. And that brother was shook. Yuji couldn't move, and Yuta was walking his ass down before apologizing and stabbing bro in the heart. We cut to Naoya just flexing his speed and is just pulverizing my man Choso, not even giving bro the time to breathe. And I love the animation that they had for Naoya here, cause this shit just looks so fucking beautiful. But man, Choso was just getting packed up disrespectfully. I do not remember this ass whooping being this crazy in the manga. Naoya was asking bro like, dude, why your ass being mad stubborn right now? And Choso said that he was the oldest sibling. Naoya was hopping on one foot talking about how he ain't answered his question properly and disappeared and was running around Choso at mock speed. Choso tried adjusting to this, but Naoya was just moving too fucking fast. He was moving like Loki in Blue Lock. This nigga ended up stabbing Choso as a cheap shot and then proceeded to clown his brothers and Toji for fighting with weapons. Not only is this man a misogynist, but he's also a damn hypocrite. But Choso don't play about his family. We then see a pool of blood flood the tunnel, and Naoya's trying to get away from it, dodging the piercing blood as well, but he low-key got drenched. As he thought that he was in the clear, we see that Choso was solidifying the blood that got soaked onto Naoya's clothes. Naoya dashed at him but was confused on why Choso wasn't taking the bait. But we see that he was actually caught in Choso's trap and was on his hands and knees the next second like he was taking back shots. But before Choso was gonna finish him off, we see Yuta walk in from behind and back-fisted Choso to the pillar, knocking his ass out cold. Choso really ain't catching no breaks at all, and we only just started. Yuta was dragging Yuji's body around and tells Naoya that he'll heal him, but only if he reports Yuji's death for him. We get this flashback of Yuji's pops and grandpa talking about Yuji's moms, and old dude was trying to warn his son that she was high-key a bop. I don't know how pops even sensed that shit, but he's an old nigga in anime, so it quite literally makes sense. And Shadi walked in during this acting all confused, but man, was she fine as hell. I can't blame Yuji's pops. He really did think he could change her for real. We see Yuji wake up with Yuta right next to him, and he was actually relieved. Had Yuji freaked the fuck out. You see, Gojo actually pulled up on Yuta back in like September in Africa and asked Yuta to look after Yuji and the rest of the first and second years if anything happened to him. So he acted all hard and tough during his intro and all that, so the higher ups would buy it. He actually did kill Yuji in that moment, but he just healed him with RCT. Yuji asks why he went through all that trouble, but Yuta says that it's cause the people that he fuck with him too, on some mutual shit. Unlike Yuta, Yuji's powers wasn't because of his own self, but because of Sukuna, telling him that it isn't his fault. But Yuji starts to self-sabotage, but that's when Fushiguro's ass pulls up pressing Yuji, telling him that since the barrier at Jujutsu High is weak right now, they can go back. Yuji's resisting though, telling Megumi not to act like shit ain't happened, and blaming himself for all the deaths that happened. But Megumi says it's their fault. They're not heroes, they're sorcerers, and because of that, no one can really judge them to the truest sense, and that's why they gotta keep proving their worth. Yuji tells himself that as long as he's with Megumi, he'll always be suffering, but that's when Megumi mentions that Noritoshi Kamo arranged the fight to the death between those who have cursed techniques, the Culling Games, and his sister Sumiki has been dragged in as well, begging Yuji for his help. And I'm not gonna lie, Megumi is one selfish ass nigga. I know you trying to protect your sister and all that, which is cool, but come on my nigga, really? As we see Kashimo, Higuruma, Uro, Ryu, and I'm sure many more that I don't remember off the top of my head right now that we'll see in action real soon. We cut to the rules of the Culling Games, and this shit was mad fast in the anime, so I'ma slow it down just for y'all. But lock in real quick, cause I'm only about to say this shit once. You have to declare participation within 19 days, so none of that bullshit that be happening when you play tag with your friends and the nigga says, I wasn't even playing for real. Anyone who breaks the rules gets their technique jacked. If you enter the barrier, you're forced to play. Killing sorcerers is worth 5 points and non-sorcerers are worth 1, and I'm sure Noah SXZ would love to make Megumi worth 1.2 if he could. If you got 100 points, you can add a new rule to the game, but the game master has to accept it with few exceptions, and anyone with an unchanging score gon' get their technique jacked too. So sorry Yuji, but you just can't stand around, you gotta start packing niggas up. Yuji tells Yuta that Sukuna is planning something that involves Megumi, and the reason why Sukuna took over in Shibuya was cause Jogo force-fed the nigga mad fingers. No pause, I'm being dead ass. But even if he were to eat the remaining fingers, he still thinks that he'll be in control. But for whatever reason, if they do swap, he asks Yuta to take him off the map with no hesitation, to where he accepts. And Yuji asks Megumi what he gotta do for real, to where Megumi says that they gotta go back to Jujutsu High and make a contract with Tengen, and ask her how they can unseal the prison realm and what Noritoshi Kamo has in store for later. The Culling Games is just one big Jujutsu terrorist attack, so to get the situation under control, they need answers to those questions and fast, believing that Tengen is the only one who could provide them. Yuji asked about Yuki, but Megumi said that he already spoke to her and that this plan was actually hers. She is also laying low at Jujutsu High currently since she doesn't want to get involved with the higher ups. The problem with meeting Tengen though are the concealing barriers, since there's like 1,000+ doors that are shuffling around, but only one leads to where Tengen is, the tombs of the Star Corridor. So unless they pick the right one, they cannot meet her. Yuji asks Megumi what happened to Nobara, to where he doesn't say a word, with Yuji understanding. But that's when Choso pops up, saying how they might have a way around Tengen's concealment barrier. But we go back to Jujutsu High, where we see Maki again, and oh lord, she's looking better than ever, and Yuki as well. Yuta is also glad to see her too, and look at the way she is sitting right now. Man, I would love to be that damn chair. I don't know how niggas like Naoya can hate, he must like dick for real. Yuki says that even though she used RCT, Jogo's attack still left some scars, as expected of Maki, who has heavenly restriction. But in the end, it wasn't her resistance to curses, but the innate strength of her body was the deciding factor of whether she lived or died in that moment. Maki asks Megumi about the plan, but that's when Choso pops in, explaining it. Between the doors and the Tomb of the Star Corridor, there's the cursed warehouse at Jujutsu High, where cursed tools and objects are kept. That is where his brothers are. Noranso, Choso, Tanso, Sanso, what am I, Gege? What are we doing? We couldn't be a little creative with the names, just a little bit? The fans are already seeing through the laziness with the more important characters like Satoru and Suguru, Toji, Yuji, and Megumi, but goddamn, my nigga. But anyways, even as remains, with the 6 of them together, he should at least be able to sense their presence thanks to his secondary CT. Maki was like, yeah, that plan is all cool and all, but who the fuck is you, nigga? Choso indeed has no emotion in this verse and has been getting aired by everyone like crazy. The way everyone was staring at him and Yuji turned to the side was frying me, but he said for now, Choso is his big bro. And with no questions asked, they are on the move. Choso sensed his bros, so they went through this door and down the elevator. Yuji saw bloodstains on the floor and was like, hey yo, what happened here? But Yuki tells him that it happened 12 years ago, making the statement that that was probably the starting point to where things started going downhill. But my question is, why don't they got a nigga to clean it up or something? I know they ain't in prehistoric times, they're in the same century as us, so I know they got some cleaning products to work with. Could we use some Pine Sol, please? Anyways though, they're walking through the main hall as they enter a white space, meaning Tengen is rejecting them. Yuki thought that since Gojo got sealed, that contact with her would be possible, but she also thinks that Tengen could just be rejecting her and not the rest. But as they turn back, we see Tengen appear behind them, and this frame was frying me, cause why did everyone look so shocked? But that's when she calls out everyone, not by name, but by lineage, and Yuji as Sukuna's vessel, ending off the episode. This episode was amazing, especially with the fights, but the quality of this shit just seemed like they turned it up a notch once again. I feel like it's like a combination between the simplistic style of season 2, but also has as much detail as season 1. So I am really excited for the rest of the episodes to come around. I heard that JJK has back-to-back cores coming in for this arc as well, but don't expect weekly uploads, but definitely buy or possibly even try weekly depending on how the content is throughout them. But y'all let me know in the comments. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button too if you fucking with it. Also, don't forget to hit up the socials like the Instagram and the Twitter, and be sure to also go and join the Discord to be a part of the community as well. All links are in the description down below. But yeah, without further ado, I hope you guys have a great day, and see ya.